guys, Icekraks here. So we are back with more Tune Tuesdays, and I was watching a bit of Network A actually, and seeing Ryan Turk do a few things with some supercars, and I was like, what should I do with supercars? I was like, yeah, let's make a drift setup. So that's actually what I'm going to do today, because in the video, which I'm going to link down below in the description, Ryan Turk drifts an F430 Scuderia, and well, in front of us, we have an F430 Scuderia, so we're actually going to set this one up for drifting. There's actually not a lot of things you have to do to set this up for drifting, because it's actually a very nice car to drift, pretty much. Like, there's not much to do. It's already, like, nice stock-wise, so there's only a few things you need to tweak here and there that make it really good. First of all, we're going to start with the drivetrain, because we're not going to do any conversion, no body kits. Mainly because the 430 in the video, the guy that Ryan Turk borrows, is pretty much stock in most ways, so basically, clutch, gearbox, driveline. The differential's already given to us, which is really nice. The racing differential's already given to us. For handling, we're going to put anti-roll bars, racing anti-roll bars, so we can adjust all the little numbers, things like that. Race anti-roll bars. No roll cage. I don't really see the point of a roll cage. It makes the car a bit heavy. And because I like the numbers, because it makes a really, really nice number of 1,000. It makes it exactly 1.2 tons, exactly, when you consider all the upgrades. Right now it's 1.222 tons. No, 1,222 kilograms. So that's going to actually drop down because the engine parts are put in. So that drops it by a kilo. Basically, we're going to put everything in except the oil cooler, because the oil cooler sort of changes the weight, and I was being a bit OCD with the car weight being 1,200. So, I don't know. This is sort of OCD. That's me being me. So just going to throw pretty much all the engine parts on. The car is naturally aspirated. It's a naturally aspirated V8, I believe. And we're going to work with that, actually, because it's a very nice V8. Because Ferrari, like, basically anything that is not made by GM, their V8s fire in a even order. Like, the reason why V8s that Americans make have this burble sound is because the engine the engine cylinders fires on the bank, left bank, right bank, left bank, right bank, left bank, left bank, right bank, and it doesn't exactly. It's not exactly. It's weird. It's not even like how Ferrari does it. How you get a smooth V8 sound is when you have the engine fire in sequential on the sequential banks, like left, right, left, right, left, right. You get a smooth engine sound. But the V8s that Americans make, they have a left, right, left, left, right. It's really, really weird how they do it. So, just how Americans love doing it. So that produces a unique engine sound, because the cylinders fire at a different order, the firing pattern basically. So, I'm going to adjust the gears a tiny bit. First of all, drop the tire pressure to 1.2. Didn't even need to change the tires, honestly, because I kept the rims stock and the tires are already street tires, actually. So that's really nice. But the gears we're going to play around with, because, like, it's already nice and stuff, but I just like tweaking it slightly, make it, I don't know, it's just slight adjustment. It's not really needed, to be honest. Like, playing around with the gears is not really needed so much. I'm just getting the right numbers. There we go. Should be good. 2.05. So the 3 gears, the final drive, first gear and second gear, we need to tweak. Every other gear we don't really need too much, because the car's already pretty fast anyway, as it is in those gears, so all I am is playing with the first and second gear and the final drive, because then third gear lines up perfectly with, as you can see, third gear lines up perfectly with 195 k's an hour and has a nice rev range. So final drive is 418, first gear is 3.12, second gear is 2.05, third gear, don't touch it, 1.49 basically. Camber, we're going to adjust it 2 degrees front camber. I like most drift cars tend to have front camber more than rear camber. Because when you steer, the tires tend to go off center, and the camber allows it to allows the little tire to line up perfectly with the road. 0.5 toe, negative 0.5 for the rear, for camber, for toe actually. 5.7 caster. And anti-roll bars, I like my numbers, 11. I don't even know how the anti-roll bars are measured, but because there's no unit on it. So 11 and 16 point something, like usually 16 in the 16 range. It's a personal number, you can play around with it. And this is where it's sort of different from when I usually tune the car. Seeing because this is a mid-engine rear-wheel drive car, the suspension geometry has to change, like the suspension stiffness has to change a little bit because the car reacts very quickly when you turn. So I actually went for much softer springs than usual. I usually run at 111 kilograms feet per millimeter. Or was that? I don't even know what it stands for actually. KGF per millimeter. I usually run 111, but this car, since it's a rear-wheel drive, mid-engine rear-wheel drive car, the car snaps a lot quicker, so I need the softer suspension to prevent that snap from occurring as quickly, so I can catch the car as it snaps. And I dropped the rear suspension, so it's level with the car is level. And toe and rebound stiffness and bump stiffness, both set to 4.1, as those are numbers that I usually work with and are nice when you run over curbs. You don't go flying off the curb and losing control, though that does happen a lot of the time on Circuit of America, but that's an exception. Braking force, 40% and 150 braking pressure. You can have, like, some people have their brake pressure, brake balance to the rear, so they can lock up the rear tire. Some people have it to the front, so they can car to rotate. I personally prefer the brake balance to be the rear, so I can basically get the car to lock up and I can rotate it with the steering wheel instead of getting the car to rotate around the front using the brake. Personal preference. And 150 brake pressure so I can lock the tires up. That's the whole point. For differential, since it's a racing differential, it's actually quite nice. They gave it to us. 80 and 60 are my personal numbers. You can play around with it. You can even go to 100 if you really want to, but I don't like 100 because I still like some maneuverability when it comes to the differential and have the tires be able to spin independently, but not independently. So basically gives me more control in mid-drift. So personal, like 100% diff is just literally going at the diff and welding it. So the whole drive line is one. The whole rear tires are just spinning as one. So yeah, basically that's the tune setup, and we're actually going to take it to a online lobby and see how it goes. Well, this should be interesting, driving on the Mojave test track, actually. The test track. I've done this once before, but it's one of the new tracks they cycled in, which is, I don't want to plow into the rear end of that RX-7. It's a really weird track to be drifting on because that weird ridge there. And he will slide. I need fourth gear, I think. Yep, I need fourth gear because it's a long turn. Long turn. Yeah, this is a very different track. I gotta close and snipe it in there. Oh god. Need second. Actually, sort of funny. Oh jeez, I'm gonna go on the wall. Yep, I knew that was gonna happen. Oh, this is nice and narrow. I'm apparently on first. So I'm gonna actually keep it up. Keeping it up. You boys. This is not an easy track. I do say it's nice fun drifting around this. It's not easy to keep hold on the track because it's narrow as hell. Definitely I picked this good, well versatile car for drifting. Oh, so close to that wall. I definitely say this 430 is very versatile when it comes to drifting. Not a lot, like some of my cars are not versatile at all. Like the MX-5, it cannot do these type of tracks because you can do a jump drift. Yeah, boys, jump drift. Jump drift, boys. Yeah, so this is definitely an all-rounder car. I would say. I'd say it's a bit more towards a beginner's car. Did I just lose that 6K? I don't know. I ordered a bank. I don't know. I would say this is more of a beginner/novice car. It is an expensive car to buy, to be honest. But if you have this lying around, go for it. Go for it. Set this car up. Take it for a spin. Apparently, I've lost my first position because I lost 6,000 points. It's great. It's actually quite good, I must say. Quite good as a drift car. Let's see if I can initiate another jump drift. Let's hope I don't roll it. Jump drift. Oh god, I'm going sideways. I'm very sideways. Not often you see a Ferrari drifting around, but it's something. Thank you for recording another clip. Funny enough, my front end hasn't eaten anything yet. My rear end has. I've tapped the wall, but I haven't eaten anything in the front end. So, and there's a boot there. Hello. You got quick. One guy quick right before the end. I think he. Oh no, I'm gonna cook it. I sort of cooked it. Sort of cooked it. That guy really cooked it into the wall. going to go on it now because I don't have any time. So we can get it, like, just get some air before the end of the race. Yep, I guess not. I'm going to finish second, which I'll take, because I did screw up a few times. Well, once or twice. 14k, that's nice. So yeah, that's me using a Ferrari 430, which I've never used as a drift car, honestly. But I definitely do rate this car as a good all-rounder drift car, which is quite nice. Like, it's an all-rounder. It's not too hard to start with, though I would say it is going to cost you a lot of money buying this 430. It's a beginner's car, but it's expensive. So if you want to do it with style, that's where the 430 is at. You want to do it with style? I'm gonna expand it. Funny enough, you can't open the engine bay, so I was hoping you could open the engine bay, but that's not really possible. So yeah. So yeah, there's the 430 Scuderia, the F430 Scuderia. I hope you guys enjoy the episode. It should be in my file share, so you'll be able to download it if you're not bothered to tweak it and you just want to run with it, if you really want. But you can go copy the tune, as I read out the tune, and go tweak it. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Icekraks out.